evil science was practiced in this laboratory of nightmares.
Matthew Slater.
Vince, man, what's going on?
What is happening, Matthew? How you doing, my friend?
I am doing good. This is like a dream come true for me.
No, I know, and I got to tell you, we've spoken about this for a while. I know you're very nervous, but I want you to know your boy Vince Russo is here, and I will carry you on my back.
How nervous do I sound over the air right now?
No, you sound great, bro. Seriously, you sound very professional. We had a little Ozzy Osbourne up top. Now you're segueing Vince Russo. Very nicely done.
Yeah, that song gets me through. It describes this perfectly. All my life, I've been listening to radio since I was probably 7 or 8 years old. This is always what I wanted to do.
You know, it's funny, Matt, because you and I have had many, many, many talks, and you know, so many people say, you know, to me, my critics, I'm bitter. They're not calling me back to wrestling, and I'm jealous. I'm not. I have said this all along. The only thing I'd rather be doing besides podcasting and russosbrand.com, the only thing I'd rather do is be on the radio. I'm like you. I love the radio. I've always loved the radio. So, we share that love of the radio.
There was a time I would literally sit in my bedroom as a young child and pretend to do a radio show. That's how much I've always wanted to do this.
And now you're doing it. You're in a studio. You're behind a mic. There's an engineer at the board. Now you're doing it. Yeah, I love that, bro, because I used to always tell my kids this growing up. There are people that talk about it, and there are people that do it. And you're doing it, bro, and I think that's a really great thing.
So I'm gonna bring this up. The absolute anxiety yesterday, last night. I think maybe, if I'm lucky, I got maybe 4 hours of sleep. And
Matthew, let me ask you this though, because let's say this show is about that's life, and this might be something that could really help people. Because how many people, Matthew, we know want to do something or want to try something, but are scared to death and never go through with it. So let me first ask you, where was the anxiety coming from? What was nervousness? What was the root of it?
I would say the root of it is probably the idea that many people are listening, and when I'm in public or any kind of public speaking, it just results in intense anxiety. It's also a lack of self-confidence as well.
Well, let me ask this, and that's a great point. There are a lot of people lack self-confidence, but here's the big thing, and here's where you can really help these people. How did you overcome it? Like, how did you rev yourself up and say, man, I am just going to do this. This is a lifelong dream. I've got the opportunity, and I'm going to do this. I think that's very, very important for people to hear.
Unfortunately, the motivation for it comes from a very dark place. I mean, I suffer from depression and horrible anxiety, and the one way that I figured I could relieve some of it is doing this, one of my ultimate dreams.
Well, that's great, man. I mean, I am very proud of you. I think a lot of people, like I said, man, a lot of people probably have dreams and ambitions, and they're so afraid to give it a shot, man. So I hope you are an example to a lot of those people.
And some of your shows have been an inspiration, so I want to talk about That's Life. Introduce the show to people who may not be familiar with it.
Now, Matthew, when you say some of those shows have inspired inspiration, do you mean that others haven't?
In some cases, absolutely.
All right. Okay.
I'm talking about specific ones. One in particular is when you focus on depression. They've really been big factors in my life.
Yep. Well, listen, I focus on depression because I've been dealing with depression my whole entire life. And I know a lot of people have, and that's why I openly discuss it. I have no problems talking about it. But, yeah, I have a podcast network. I have quite a few shows on the network. You can go to russosbrand.com and check it out. But my most important show is a show I do every Tuesday morning called That's Life. I even do the show live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Vince Russo Live, and I talk about the things that really, really matter. the things that we all go through on a daily basis. You know, the peaks, the valleys. You know, how do we deal with depression? How do we make ourselves better people? What is the meaning of life? You know, how do we contribute to make this a better place? And, you know, no doubt about it, it's the most important show I do ever.
And I say some before because a lot of what I can relate to tends to be on the darker side of things.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And, you know, listen, man, there are a lot of times I'm in a dark place, and I talk about that all the time. I talk about the abyss, man, and it is so easy to get there. And that's why I just think it's important that, you know, have a show like my show and your show where you can talk about it, because I think a lot of people think that they're the only ones dealing with that, and no, there are a lot of us dealing with that.
And a big problem with it is the only solution to a lot of physicians is medication. I have been prescribed so many drugs, it's been ridiculous.
Yeah. You know, Matthew, I'll never forget my first real serious bout with depression came at about 22, and Matthew, I felt like I was losing my mind. Like literally, with that medication, I felt like I was losing my mind. I immediately stopped the medication, and you know, from that point on, I never again took medication for my depression. Now, listen, I'm different, and some people might have to, but from that point on, I made the decision. I'm fighting this thing, man. I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to stare it in the face, and I'm going to fight it, and I did not want any more medication.
So what was the one thing that turned it around?
You want to know the truth, bro? Without a shadow of a doubt, my son was born. Me and my wife had our first child, and the realization that there was now another human being in this world that was absolutely 100% dependent on me. I was his dad. I had to take care of him. He was dependent on me. He was going to look up to me. He was going to be depending on me. And, you know, at that point, I was, man, I've got to man up. I've got to, you know, get over these things that I'm feeling, because it is not about me anymore. You know, it is about this little baby, and that's really what got me through it.
And how much self-doubt did you have when that event occurred? Were you ever thinking, I may not be able to do this right?
No, I couldn't. There was no failure. I mean, I was a dad now, and this was somebody that was depending on me. So no, absolutely not. Now, I want you to know, I mean, like I said, I tell you, this day, I still deal with depression, because I do. But I am so much better able to equip myself, because I've been dealing with it for so long.
I say I've been dealing with it since I was a teenager, and sometimes there are better days, sometimes there are worse days. Right now, my anxiety's through the roof, but my depression is so much better because I'm actually doing something I love. Unlike most days.
Awesome. Which is awesome. And as this show goes on, your anxiety lessens more and more and more and more, and think about how you're going to feel when the time is over.
Oh, when I re-listen to the show, that's going to determine how I feel, really.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So now on your show, you talk a lot about God on your show. So what inspired you to really believe and get into that?
Wow, man. That's, you know, I think in my life there is a lot of, when I grew up a Catholic, and, you know, we went to church every Sunday morning. And, you know, bro, of course, as a little kid, you know, you're bored with church. You don't want to go to church. You know, back then, bro, you know, like, the priests just weren't talking my language. They were talking, like, just over my head. And then, you know, bro, you become a teenager, and on Sunday you got football, and, like, that's why you don't want to go. I even went to, like, you know, religious studies till I was, like, 17 years old. And, bro, I believed in God without a shadow of a doubt. I that in God. I believed God was there, but I did not surrender my life. I tried control of my own destiny. I tried to do everything myself. I never depended on God, but I knew He was there, man. I always felt the sense of security. And man, then later on in life, I'm in my 40s at this point. I just got to a really, really bad place. And when I talk about bad place, I'm not talking drugs and alcohol and
I've been down that road.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about I was really experiencing hatred towards certain people. I mean, hatred, really deep hatred. And I remember, man, I was all by myself. I was actually at my work that time, and I literally, bro, I verbally, I audibly, I literally heard God. And bro, he said to me, look at you, like look at what you've become. He said, is this what I created you to be? The hate that you have in your heart, is this really what I created you to be? And I mean, bro, like from that moment on, it was like, okay, man, like, listen, I want you to take over. I don't know what I'm doing. I've hit a brick wall. I don't have answers. I've tried so hard to do it on my own. Uncle, man, I am waving the white flag. Here are all the keys to the car. Take over. And I mean, bro, that was probably, over 15 years ago now.
Hate seems to be pretty prevalent in today's society, and we won't even get into all that, but my problem when it comes to hate is essentially myself. Like, I don't hate anybody or anything, but myself, when I see myself, I am disgusted.
Yeah, but you see, Matthew, that's where a lot of stuff with God, and like people may find this very hard to believe, a lot of stuff with God is really logical. A lot of it is logical. When you break it down, it's logical. If you believe you were created by God, I 1,000,000% believe that we were created by God. I mean, bro, when you look at the male and you look at the female and reproducing and you just look at all that, I don't believe for 1 second any of that happened by chance. I don't believe it's science. But, the bottom line is if you do believe in God and, you were created by God, bro, then okay, well, why did He create me? And why am I different? Why do I have different traits than everybody else? Why do I look different from everybody else? Why am I good at some things and bad at some things? Well, the reason is because you, in particular, have a job that you are supposed to do here that only you can do. That job could be anything, bro. That job could be one person throughout your entire life crossing paths with you, and you're supposed to have an influence on that person. And that's the thing. So, Matthew, when you talk about, I hate myself, think about that logically for a second. If you believe in God, then ask yourself the question, did God really create you to hate yourself?
Oh, absolutely not. That would be senseless.
Right, and do you think, like, God, bro, if you hate yourself, like, then God would have to hate you. You think God created you because He hated you and because He wanted you to hate yourself and because He wanted you to have this miserable life? Bro, we're talking about God. God doesn't have spare time. So every moment of His time is valuable. So every person is valuable because He created you. And there was a reason for that. There was a job that He wanted you to do, and that's why He created you as the person you are. So once you realize, God, man, God's got something to do. Like, that's why He put you here. Then, bro, we look at the meaning of life. And what is the meaning of life? The life is a continuous journey. Why am I here? God, what is that you want to do? What is it that you want me to do to glorify you and to glorify your kingdom? Show me. So that's the life. More and more you align yourself with God, and the more and more you walk with God and become more godlike, it's going to reveal more and more to you. That's what the walk is all about.
So what about, let's say, a child is born with terminal cancer? What in that case is that showing, you know?
Oh, that people bring that up all the time, bro. What people seem to forget is there is an opposite power in this world without a shadow of a doubt. There is the devil. And bro, it was man that opened the door for the devil and let him in. You know, when Eve ate the apple in the Garden of Eden, and then Adam took a bite when God said, "Don't eat from the tree." That's the only thing I ask, not from that tree of knowledge. You know, here comes Satan with the temptation. They eat from the tree of knowledge. At that point, they gave Satan power on this earth. So, bro, there is without a shadow of a doubt the yin and the yang of God and Satan. The world, Satan represents the world. And, bro, that's why bad things happen. We allowed that force to this world. So, you know, bro, like cancer, you know, a lot of people, a little child was born with cancer, or, a child passed away at the age of 3 in a horrible car accident. There is people in this world allowed people in this world, but when you think about things like that, how are we able to continue? How are we able to go on? We are able to continue and go on because even though the devil does his work, God is there to give you his love. So even when that negative force has a great effect on something in your life, bro, you know you can just fall back into the hands of God. He is going to love you, and he is going to get you through the darkest moments of your life. But, you know, like I said, man, we allowed people into this world, and bro, because of that, because of what Adam did, that's why we all have the sin gene. You know, everybody derives from Adam. We have that sin gene. That's why we are all sinners. We all make mistakes, bro. We all do bad things. We all say things we shouldn't say or act in a way we shouldn't act. We can't help ourselves. And God knows that. And that's where becoming a Christian comes in, where, you know, you can say, listen, man, I am a total screw up. I know it. I recognize it. I want to change. I want to get better. But that's when you tell God, I cannot do this without you. I am depending on you to mold me every day into the man or woman you want to be. And, like I said, to me, that's what it's all about.
Now, in one of your shows, you said Christianity and religion are two different things. Can you explain that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely, bro, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, and again, logic, bro, it's simple. Why are there so many religions? Bro, religions have rules and regulations. Man made up those rules and regulations. God didn't make up those rules and regulations. That's why you got Catholic, Protestant, Lutheran, and Jewish, and Baptist. All these different rules and regulations that these different religions made up. Bro, being a Christian, the Bible, that's it, man. I believe every word in this Bible, the way this Bible reads to me, the way this Bible speaks to me, the way the Bible touches me. This is the Word of God. And this is the way that I am going to live my life. This what I am going to follow. Because once you get put into a religion, bro, you're going to find out quickly there are now rules and regulations that were not created by God.
You'll hear stories of people who will say they're very religious, they pray, but their life is still in the garbage, essentially. What do you say to those people who go years and years but struggle?
I say, bro, if you don't have absolute faith, don't bother. I mean, don't bother. Don't give God lip service, bro. You've got to have absolute faith that without a shadow of a doubt, He is right there with you, and He is listening to every word you have. You have to have absolute faith. And I'm going to tell you something. Matthew, that will make it a lot more. If you can remember this one thing, it will make you a lot easier. Here's what it is. Here's what the Bible tells you. Every single thing that happens in your life is designed by God to get you closer to Him. Everything that happens in your life is designed to bring you closer to God. So, bro, if anything happens in your life and you know it's designed to bring you closer to God, you're going to know right off the bat, like, that's good.
Even free will actions apply to that?
What's that?
Even actions of free will apply to that?
What do you mean?
Like, say if somebody, like, attempted suicide or something.
Yeah, well, yes. Well, you know, again, bro, that person attempting suicide, they're bringing themselves to that point. They're bringing themselves to that point. The idea is, bro, you never get to that point.
Oh, ideally, absolutely.
You never get to that point by, again, a couple of things, bro. Like, this is how I deal with it. When something in my life does not go my way, when something goes bad, bro, when there's a death, when there's an illness, when there's a job I didn't get, I can go on, and on. First thing I say, okay, that happens for a reason. Everything happens in your life to bring you closer to God. Okay, I get that. So, now what I do, bro, is I look at the situation and I examine it. What is God trying to tell me here? What is He trying to show me? What is He trying to teach me? And that's where prayer really comes. Says, okay, God, I get it. You're trying to get my attention. You got my attention. You needed to bring me to this point to get my attention. You got it. What is it that you're trying to show me? What is it that you're trying to teach me so I can further develop my walk?
Does that message ever become crystal clear, though?
I think it does.
'Cause
I really do, bro. I think it does. I think if something happens in your life, pray about it. And if you really, really examine it, I mean really examine it, trying to find the meaning at its core, bro, I think you'll be able to walk away with something.
Because I think that's what people are really looking for. They want almost, I would say, an immediate answer as their prayers being answered. And if it doesn't happen, they start, no, they're not going to believe.
Not going to happen, bro. And, bro, the Bible tells you over and over and over and over and over, our time is not God's time. Like an hour to us, not an hour to God. And that's another thing, bro. It's on His time. It's on His watch. It's when He feels you are ready. And I think that's 1,000%. And that's why I think a lot of it, what are you praying? Bro, I'll be honest, I have a problem with prayer, Matt, because I don't like asking God for anything. Like, I don't, like, it's almost like, bro, I don't want to bother you. I know you're very busy. I don't like asking Him for anything. So, like, bro, I never pray for something. Like, bro, I'll be honest, and people may take this the wrong way, but I'm just going to be honest. Bro, if somebody's on their death, okay, I don't pray God that God sees sort of a miracle to make this person live? Can you perform? What I say is, God, whatever is, whatever is your will. There's a reason this is happening. Now, bro, God may want to take somebody to heaven because there is a big plan in heaven, and I need you here right now to experience what you had experienced on this earth. I am ready now to take you to heaven. So, that's why I never pray, I hope this person gets better. Please cure this person, because I know, God's charge, and, He's got a plan. Bro, when I get in a plane, I am scared to death.
Really?
Fly. Okay? My prayer is not, God, please get me there safely. That's not my prayer. My prayer is, God, if it is in your will, get me there safely, then I pray that you get me there safely. What that means, bro, is if there's some type of a tragedy and I never make it to my destination, well, bro, I know, okay, maybe God had another plan for me, and I'm about to find out what that is. So, again, bro, I have 100% absolute faith and trust, in God, that He knows what He's doing.
And speaking of fears, what is your biggest fear in life?
Bro, I've always, my fears in life, well, bro, I'm afraid of death. Ridiculous.
Which we're going to talk about in the next half hour.
Yeah, I should be looking forward to death. I should.
I was thinking that, but I didn't say it.
Yeah, no, I should. No, bro, but again, that's why I need God. That's why I need God to work on me, because as much as I believe in Him, as much as I believe in heaven, I think you all have the fear of death, bro, because it's the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of the unknown. We don't know what that next level is. So, that makes sense. Bro, a big part of me, and I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that deal with, I always had a fear of, God, what if something happens and I can't provide for my family? Bro, it was never about making a lot of money. It was never that. Money never made me happy, bro. I didn't extravagant things. It's not about that. My fear with money was, what if something happens and I can't support my family? And again, bro, that's what makes me a human being, and that's why I need God, because God tells us, I know what you need. I created you. I know what you need. I will take care of it. Be loyal to me. You make me number one, in your life. You glorify me. You glorify my kingdom. You will be taken care of. So
all right, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and we'll be right back.
The Matthew Slater Show.
Hello everybody, this is Vince Russo, and I'm here to talk to you about a weekly show that I do every week called That's Life. This is the most important show on the brand because these are things that really matter to you and I. This is about our everyday walk in life. What can we do to be better people and to make this world a better place? Please check it out. It's weekly. I do it live on Twitch. Tuesday mornings, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Just go to twitch.tv/Vince Russo Live. You can find the show on YouTube. You can see the audio and the video. Check that out. Just find Vince Russo Brand. And also, it is in audio on all podcasting formats. Guys, check it out.
The Matthew Slater Show.
Vince, I got a funny story to tell you.
Go ahead, man.
Valerie, who's sitting next to me, at 10:20, she started counting up how many times you said bruh.
About, 2 or 3?
She said around 30.
Oh, my God. All right, I've got a problem. Okay, now that you pointed that out to everybody,
I just thought it was really funny. All right, so now we're going to talk about death.
Now listen, bro, I got to tell you, listen, take it from a pro. Bro, that you can't laugh at your guests like that. You won't come back on. You just laugh at your guests, bro.
Hey, it's called good humor.
Everybody heard you laugh at your guests.
You know it's all in fun.
I know.
All right, so on one of your shows, you actually talked about the fear of death.
Yeah.
Doesn't that kind of conflict with the belief a little bit?
Of course it does, bro. Absolutely. No doubt about it. That's why I need God in my life, bro. I should not be afraid. Exactly. Again, bro, that's what makes us human. That's why we need God, bro. I laugh at I literally laugh, bro, because when you're a Christian and you do something wrong, or you say something wrong, or you lose your temper, or you curse, okay? Bro, the first thing they love to do is throw that up in your face. Oh, you think you're some Christian, you just buried so-and-so, you're some Christian, and that's the whole point, bro. Yes, I am a Christian, because I grew up daily, and I'm not perfect, and that's why I need God. I need Him there to constantly put line, constantly, my guide, constantly point out to me when I was wrong and when I should have said that and what I should have done. Absolutely. But people try to paint the picture of, Christians are supposed to be perfect people. Bro, if we were perfect people, we wouldn't need God. We wouldn't need Him. And that's the defense that people always love to use. When you do something wrong, right away they're throwing your Christianity at you, and that state for that wrongdoing is the exact reason why we need God in our life.
Yeah, and some of your shows have a very positive message, and those are the ones I probably don't relate to as much because I tend to focus on the more depressing issues. So let's say if you were to pray about that, how does that get resolved? An all of a sudden thing, or?
What do you mean, pray about what?
About your depression issues, about feeling down on everything.
Nah, bro, it doesn't go away. And bro, that's the thing, it's deal with depression. Bro, that's part of our makeup. Like, that's part of who we are. My depression is part of who I am. Bro, when you read about in the Bible, the great apostle Paul, okay? The great apostle of Paul always talks about, bro, throughout the entire, his part in the Bible, he talks about God. He's got some kind of an ailment. He always talks about, like, this pain in his side, like he has an ailment that get over, and he's always addressing it. And bro, like, suffer from depression, I think that's a part of our makeup. So again, bro, you have to, you got to have your one-on-one with God. You got to try to understand, okay, why is this part of my life? What am I supposed to be doing with this? And bro, maybe part of it is, maybe you are supposed to overcome this, so you can be the person out there talking about this and helping other people.
Overcome is the key word right there, and that is really the hardest part right there.
Yeah, bro, if you're suffering from depression, bro, everything happens for a reason. There's no chance. And, that's how I look at it now. I mean, my God, bro, we're talking about what? I've been doing this thing for 36 years. So I am able to deal with it a lot better than I used to be. So I come on this show and I talk about it, and maybe somebody out there is listening and they are getting a little help I mean, again, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Like, everybody needs some type of coping mechanism. Unfortunately, my coping mechanism has been alcohol at times, and has been pretty much devouring very large meals just to feel better. So when you're at your darkest times, like, what did you do to cope?
Bro, again, first of all, here's what everybody. When you're out of your darkest times, that means you're in your own head. You got to get out of your own head. Bro, if you don't get out of your own head, you're going to drive yourself absolutely crazy.
Oh, yeah, I'll be between the asylum walls.
Yeah, you got to get out of your own head, bro. That's the hardest thing to do. When you get in that place and now you're in your head, that is the hardest thing to do. But again, like I said, bro, it goes back to what I said. If you can tell yourself, okay, I'm at this moment right now because this experience is going to bring me closer to God. What is He trying to tell me? Then, bro, that's where the focus goes. That's where the focus goes. Get out of your own head. Get the root of the depression. Why am I feeling this way? What triggered this? Get down to the very root. That's the first thing I ask, bro. I get emails, DMs all the time. Vince, I'm depressed. That's the first thing I say. Okay, why are you depressed? Get to the root of it. You know why you're depressed. Got to get to the very root of it so you have an understanding. Once you get to the root of it and you understand, now is when you try to work your way out of it. You make changes in your life, bro, if things need to be changed, no matter how difficult they may be. But I think everybody knows something triggers the depression, and if you can get to the root of that, a lot of times, bro, you will be able to dig yourself out. Now again, bro, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just telling you the way that I deal with it. That's what works.
Yeah, because that's what keeps social anxiety, depression. That's what really puts me in a hole.
Yep.
And it gets dug deeper and deeper. Today is one of the rare exceptions.
Yeah. No, exactly, bro. And that's like I said, and that's how you get out of your head. Examine the depression. Why am I feeling this way? What happened? Was it a conversation? Did somebody say something about me on social media? Whatever the case be, dig right down to the root. And once you're out the root, bro, now you start digging out of it. And now, bro, somebody came on one of my shows the other day. Vince, I'm quitting the brand. Well, why are you quitting the brand? Well, because every time I get on social media, I get attacked for being part of the brand. I get attacked for supporting you. Okay, bro, so now know why you're being attacked. So now you know why you're depressed enough that you're going to quit something you enjoy. Well, bro, now it's real simple. Get off social media.
Yeah, that really is a poison out there. I mean, I have like social media pages, but the hate out there is kind of ridiculous.
It's hard, bro. It's the world. The world that's bro. The world always trying to take our eye off of focus. The focus is God. Okay, bro. The devil represents the world. The devil wants to own you, just like God wants to own you. God wants to own you. God wants to come home. But it's the daily distraction of the world, bro, that take our focus off of God. Bro, that's all by design. All of it.
So it's all by design. It's really hard to fight it, though.
It's not hard to fight it, bro, if you know that. If you know that. I mean, bro, if somebody's burying you on social media and all of a sudden, bro, you find yourself engaged in going back and forth, right there, stop.
Yeah, that's the biggest mistake right there, is engaging.
Yes, you're falling into the trap. You've got to stop. Bro, the Bible talks about, man, go out there every day. You throw on your armor of God because you're going to be attacked. You're going to be attacked. It's going to come from all angles. You've got to throw that armor on. And again, bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. You're on social media. All of a sudden, you're engaged and you're going back and forth, trading hate. The devil wins. That's what he wants you to do. So again, bro, it's just a matter of conscious and aware of all of these things.
It's like you can't do anything nowadays without people getting in an uproar.
Absolutely not. You can't say anything without people getting in an uproar.
And it's getting silly at this point. I mean, everybody's got to be so careful. People just can't be themselves anymore. And I'm not endorsing hateful speech or anything, but I'm just saying it's getting a little ridiculous.
Even if you are yourself, bro, we're living in a world now, bro, it happened to me yesterday. Bro, people can just make stuff up about you. Like, it doesn't even have to be true. As a matter of fact, it's so far from the truth. Bro, people can just go on social media, say something about you, make it up out of their head, and people will just believe them. It's not even a matter of something you say or something you did. If somebody wants to hurt you, they could just make something up and hurt you.
And if you're a public figure, you're not even protected.
No, that's the worst. That's the worst.
So
what do you have to do? Bro, you got to not get caught up there. And bro, I'm guilty of getting caught up with it because I'm Italian, man, and I've got to defend my honor and I've got to defend my word. When somebody's, making something up, I have to call them on their BS. As a matter of fact, bro, I did some exclusive research this week because I was like, God, this turned the other cheek. Like, that's not what you could have meant. You can't ask us to be punching bags and welcome mats, and can't expect us to be bullied and let people, just destroy us and destroy our name and destroy our reputation and turn the other. You can't ask. That's not what you're saying.
yeah, it's not realistic. You can't just be a doormat and be stomped on all the time.
That's right, bro. So, like, I did some really exclusive research, and, bro, there are times in the Bible when God himself fought back. There are times in the Bible when God told his apostles, be ready to defend yourself. You are going to be attacked. Be ready to defend yourself. So, it's the complete opposite to turn the other cheek. So the more I read on, the more I came to the understanding what God means by turn the other cheek is don't seek revenge. You can defend yourself, you can stand up for yourself, but not revenge. If you are a Christian and you live your life glorifying me, glorifying my kingdom, I will take care of the revenge. I will take. You should never seek revenge. And bro, I don't. And that's why, you'll always hear me talk about karma. And the karma is, bro, I'm not gonna seek revenge. Okay, God has told me not to seek revenge, but He has also told me you're gonna get yours. And that's where the karma comes from, bro. What put out there in the world is exactly what you're going to get back in your face. It's going to come around, bro. It might not be in a day, in a week, or a month, but it is going to come back full circle.
And there was a time you just accepted it all, right? You just didn't say anything. You let it go.
Bro, I went years and years and years of turning the other cheek, and here's what I would find. It didn't stop those people. It didn't stop it. And on top of that, we're saying, oh my God, if Vince isn't defending himself, it must be true. So that's when I finally said, God, this ain't working. I need to explain to me the turning of the other cheek. And that's when I really, really got down to, the root of what it's like.
And that was what your latest show was about, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Promote that again.
Yeah, I do a show, guys, every day on Russo's Brand, on the Realm Network. So you go to Russo's Brand, that's Russo with an S, brand.com, every Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock Eastern. I record it live on Twitch. So you could, follow me on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/Vince Russo live. It's a show every week.
We have only a few minutes left. What is the most important thing you would tell people that are just down on their luck and out of it?
No God's control. No God's control. No God has, but bro, here's what people got to understand. If you don't ask him for his help, he's not going to help. God says, I am here for you. All you have to do is ask. And bro, I think that's what people are afraid of. I think people look back at all of the bad things they've done, and how could God ever forgive me, and how could I turn my life over to God, and how could God, give me unconditional love, all the bad things I've done. Bro, God knows we're screw up. He knows we're screw up, and he's all about forgiveness. Bro, he sacrificed his only son as a sign of forgiveness to us for our sins. He paid the price for us through his son. And he says all you have to do is ask. And it's as simple as that. But like I said, man, it can't be lip service. You've got to believe from the bottom of your heart. And you have to know he is there to help you. I mean, bro, I tried to do it on my own, into my 40s. And, just it's brick wall after brick wall after brick wall. I could not figure this stuff out until finally said I quit. Like, you've got the blueprint. Like, you created me. You wired me. I don't have a clue. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. You need to enlighten me. That's everything for me.
So, Vince, you have to tell the story for people who aren't familiar of how this money magically appeared in front of you.
Well, I mean, I'll keep it as much as I can.
Yeah, we have about 9 minutes.
Yeah, I was in the wrestling business, and I was getting to a point where I absolutely hated it, and I knew that's not where God wanted me to be. And my fear was, if I walk away from this again, like all of us, how am I going to support my family? What am I going to do? How am I going to earn income? God, I know you don't want, but how am I going to earn income? And bro, I'll never forget that morning before the day started. This conversation took place between me and God in my hotel room. I was by myself. I was on the road. Bro, I was so into prayer that I literally, bro, like, I think this is the only time that this has happened. I was so into prayer that I was in my room alone crying. Okay, that's how I was into the prayer. I was crying. I was on my knees and I was crying. But God, like, I know you don't want me. How am I supposed to support my family if I leave? So that day, the same BS, in the workplace. I was at a television taping. Same thing. Things got so out of hand. I locked myself in a room. I took my Bible out to center myself. And it was, again, God, I hear you. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm scared to death. How am I supposed to take care of my family? And, bro, this is a true story. Anybody that knows could ask my wife. Bro, I never carry money around with me. I never have money in my pocket. I always use a credit card. If I buy a cup of coffee, I use my credit card. I never, ever have cash. So I remember I reached into my pocket because I wanted a piece of gum, and I opened up the gum pack, and bro, $2 bills fell out of the gum package. I am talking crisp, just like they came off the mint, neatly folded $50 bills appeared out of nowhere.
That is insane.
The first thing I did, Matthew, was call my wife. Did you put money in my pocket? And Vin, why would I put money in your pocket? I don't. I know you don't carry money. Like, no, I did not put money in your bank, bro. I didn't go to the bank. I didn't take money out of the bank. I had no money on me. And bro, this was God, like, as blatantly as he could, saying, I will take care of you. I know what you need. If you honor me and you obey me and you glorify my name and I will take care of you. Bro, I left. That's it. Okay, I got it. Bro, you just paid $100. That's here. I got it. Bro, I quit my job the next day. I did 6 figures.
Oh,
I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what I was going to do next. I didn't have a clue. Now, bro, I here 5 years later, and with Russo's brand, I am making more money now than I was when I left that.
That is amazing.
And that's what God means when he's like, I know it. I will take care of you. Have absolute trust in me. But you've got to be faithful to me. And that's why I do this show. This is part of what I'm supposed to be doing. That's like I'm supposed to be doing the show. The people listening to this interview are supposed to be listening to this interview. This is my due diligence. This is what I am supposed to be doing for God. Bro, when I do stuff like this, I always pray, God, speak through me, man. Just use me as a vessel. Speak through me. Reach those people that you want to reach. I am just here for you to speak through me.
All right, we are running out of time. Is there any last thing you want to say before we go?
No, again, everybody, you always got to go to logic. You always got to go to logic. You know in your heart everything that happens in your life is designed to bring you closer to God. He tells us that in the Bible. Then you will be able to deal with the day-to-day a lot better because you will know there is a reason behind everything, and at the end of the day, it will be a good.
Vince, I thank you for coming on the show. If this helped one person, I'm eternally grateful.
Yeah, me too, Matthew, and you did a heck of a job. I hope you do it again, man.
I plan to.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Vince. I appreciate it.
All right, Matthew, take care.
Take care, my friend. Vince Russo, everybody.
The Matthew Slater Show.